Good evening, everybody. Welcome, Chai Nation. It is I, your host, Meherwan Irani, the Maharaja of Masala, the Sultan of Spices, the King of Curry. Obviously, I'm a very modest guy. Chai Pani Mom at the helm here today.
Hey, everybody.
It's a beautiful day. It's 70 degrees outside. I can't believe I'm inside doing this. But, since I am stuck inside doing this, I'm going to do something absolutely fantastically special today. This one is mind-blasting triple.
Wow.
It is the crispy masala fish roll. Legendary at Chai Pani. Legendary at Spicewalla. Legendary amongst everybody that's ever tried it. Legendary amongst our administrative team that just can't get enough for lunch. And quite possibly one of Chai Pani Mom's favorite dishes at Chai Pani and Spicewalla. So what is a crispy masala fish roll? I made it up. Some version of it in India. They have fish fries in India. Crispy or pan fried. But I wanted to make a wrap with fish. And the fish that I chose to do this wrap in is catfish. Now I know some of you, I've heard, may not be big fans of catfish. I cannot for the life of me understand why, but any flaky white fish will do perfectly. Tilapia or catfish. I normally we quite often make this with tilapia too, but I just happen to have some nice Georgia farm-raised catfish, so that's what we're gonna work with today. So let's make the rub for this. Well, actually, let's go ahead and cut up the fish first. So pick up a fillet. When you get the fish at the fish market, do not hesitate to ask the guy behind the counter if he can smell the fish. In fact, if you're not doing it, then you're really it's a bit of a crapshoot as to what you're bringing home with you. And what you're looking to smell is something that smells a little bit like the ocean. You don't want to smell fishy, as in like the strong stench of fish hitting you, which means it's stale. So when you get a fillet, have them hand it over the counter, which is what I do. Sniff it. A few people might look at you oddly, and really, you shouldn't be selling much. Of course, catfish is a river fish, so it doesn't quite have that same ocean smell to it, but you basically don't want it to smell weird, fishy, or sometimes a little bit, there's almost like an antiseptic smell the fish sometimes gets when it's sitting at the fishmonger too long. I don't know what the heck it is. Maybe some sort of preservative they spray on it, whatever. Avoid all that. You just want something that smells natural. Let's cut up our fish. Let's see, I'll take a small knife over here. So we're looking for skinny little fish sticks because that's about what we're going to fry, and those will fry perfectly and hold on to that masala perfectly. So for skinny little fish sticks, this catfish fillet is not a very thick fillet of fish, so you don't have to worry about it not cooking. Well, come on. There we go. Little fillet like that. Let me cut this actually down the middle there, down the rib cage. Put this guy aside. Get a couple more fillets off of here. Alrighty. And we're going to basically hit this with a marinade. And this marinade is what I call our kati rub marinade. That's what it just is called at Chai Pani. I'm going to show you guys how to make it. It's a multi-purpose marinade. We pretty much hit our fish with it. We hit our chicken, our kati chicken with it, the stuff that we put in butter chicken. That's enough fish for now. Let's just put that over there. All right. Okay. Wash my hands.
This is how much would go into one roll.
Oh no, that's actually, sorry. So one fillet of catfish, which is one side of catfish, you can easily make 2, quite possibly 3 rolls out of it.
Okay.
There's a good amount of fish in there. You're only going to get 2 or 3 sticks in the roll. Maybe 4, maybe 2. It depends on how much you want. If you like it nice and crispy and packed full of fish, this will make easily 2 rolls.
This amount that you've cut right here.
This amount that I've cut will make 2 rolls.
Okay.
But if you wanted to make 3 rolls, cut up this last little piece over here, and you're well on your way to making 3 rolls. All right, guys, let me put this out of the way and come back and show you guys how to make the rub. So, to make the rub, we first start with ginger garlic paste. If you have no idea what ginger garlic paste is, one of 2 things. Either the words that have been coming out of my mouth time after time are not registering, or this is the first time you're watching the show. Let's assume there's some first timers watching the show, and for them, ginger garlic paste is fresh peeled ginger and fresh peeled garlic in equal amounts pureed. How do you puree? Food processor, blender. I like to add a little bit of lemon juice or a little bit of oil for 2 reasons. It helps it sort of puree a little bit smoother, and also it's easy to scrape out. And if you, both the oil or the lemon juice, or even a touch of vinegar also act as a little bit of preservative. I store it in a jar, and here's what it looks like. And you don't want to make it like, absolutely smooth like toothpaste. You want a little bit coarse. So, and it's just magic. Okay, so let's put 2 healthy tablespoons of ginger garlic paste. You notice Chai Pani Mom actually measuring stuff?
I'm so impressed.
With a real measuring spoon. You should be.
This is a first time. I'm a first timer now because of this.
People have been asking. They want
For actual measurements.
They want actual
The
measurements.
people that are trying to-
I can't understand why, but they want actual measurements. All right, here's what I'm not going to do measurements. I'm going to do a healthy pinch of salt in the bowl. And then we're going to add some spices. So let's go with actual measurements too. For the turmeric, I'm going to use about a half teaspoon of turmeric. Not heaping, just a shallow half teaspoon of turmeric. A little bit of turmeric goes a long way.
I think your friends at Spicewalla are going to be very relieved that you're giving them measurements to create the recipes from.
And I'm going to put in a teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. I know that may seem like, ooh, that's a lot of chili powder, but we're going to be frying this fish, and this is actually the batter that the fish is going to be in, and a lot of that heat will sort of burn off in the fryer. It'll come off in the fryer. But what it will do is add this beautiful red color to the fish. Oh, you know, crispy red color. Coriander powder. Roasted coriander powder is highly recommended. If you don't have roasted coriander powder, regular coriander powder will work. If you don't have regular coriander powder, we'll break out the coffee grinder, sneak it away so your wife doesn't know you're doing it, and grind you up some coriander seeds. If you don't have coriander seeds, I can't help you, but Spicewalla.com can. I love a good product plug for Spicewalla.
Look, Spicewalla.
Shameless Spicewalla plug. No, but here's the best part. So at Spicewalla, we actually roast our own coriander powder.
It's
and
the
if
best.
you ask me, well, what does roasting it do? Think about it for a minute. What does roasting coffee do? Makes it coffee, releases the flavors, the essence, the oils that make coffee taste the way it does. Same with spices. Pre-roasted for a rub like this is what I recommend. And of course, you know, with whole spices, you'll see me toasting them often. Oh wow, we're kind of low. So I'm also going to put a teaspoon of, which is pretty much all this in the can, so I'm just going to dump it in there. Need to get some more, let's remember that. Let's get these spices out of the way. And now we're going to add some more juice and zing and flavor. How are we going to do that? Well, let's find a lime and let's hit it with some lime juice. Rolling the lime like this on a cutting board just helps loosen it up on the inside so when you cut into it. There we go. Just makes it easier to get the juice out. So the juice of a half a lime, if you got a large lime like this one, that's the juice of half a lime is plenty.
Someone missed the ginger garlic paste. I think there's a recipe on Spicewalla
I'm almost
website. You did it before, but it's
I'm almost positive I made
50%.
it
Yeah,
before.
50% ginger, 50% garlic,
Fresh peeled.
and pureed together.
Correct. And
That's the gist of it
that's
for
gist
the
of
person
it.
that was asking.
And let's put a little bit of oil in there. And if somebody's asking how much oil, oh shoot, I'm probably going to say about 1.5 tablespoons of oil.
Any particular kind?
I like just a neutral, flavorless vegetable cooking oil. My preferred oil is rapeseed, and that's actually my preferred brand. I like buying oil in tins because that way you can leave them out and they don't turn rancid from exposure to the sun. And you can find, and if you can't, you know, and if you can find instead a plastic bottle of rapeseed oil or safflower oil, or sunflower oil, pour it into a tin. I mean, I refill that thing all the time. You know, why waste? Okay, let's mix this bad boy up into a paste. There we go. And you can see that beautiful red color. It's come already into the marinade. And that's what our fish is going to be coated in. Now, you ready guys? Ready? Have your minds blown?
Always.
This is all I'm going to put in the fish. And then I'm going to fry it. And it's going to be crispy as if it was breaded. And you're going to go like, oh my God, gluten-free crispy fish fingers. How did you do that, Meherwan? And you know, and absolutely, if you want to have the gluten-free wrap or roll of bread, then you can have a perfectly gluten-free crispy fish roll. We're of course going to make it on naan because
It's so good.
Because naan. Okay, so now this is in. We're going to taste this. It's going to be raw, of course, but the reason we're tasting it because you want to make sure there's enough salt, enough heat. If it's missing anything, and even raw, you can tell these things, right? Even raw, that's delicious, but it does need more salt. So another healthy pinch of salt. And I'm not worried about over-salting right now because this is the marinade. When I put the fish in it and put in the oil, a lot of the stuff on the surface will burn off and come off the fish. Some will stay on, but you know, we're salting a lot of fish in here. All right. Even the raw tastes amazing. Spoon down, fish in. Now you can marinate your fish in this and leave it for a couple of hours, and it'll just help it get extra juicy. I wouldn't leave the fish marinated in it for longer than 6 or 7 hours, because that lime juice will start to cook the fish, and you'll end up with sort of, semi-ceviche, which nobody wants.
Unless you're trying to eat ceviche.
Unless you're trying to eat ceviche, but we don't want catfish ceviche.
No.
I don't think it's gonna be very good. I'm gonna cut this last piece of catfish up too, and throw it in there. Because what am I gonna do with it, right? Here we go. All right, done. Sink. Okay, folks. Getting there. And coat it well. Ay, 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 ay. Look at that. Look at it. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to taste and believe. You know how Spicewalla's logo says superior flavor? This is why. This is why, because this truly is superior flavor, and especially that pre-roasted coriander is going to just add so much beautiful nuttiness and flavor to this whole thing. It just smells amazing already. This is what I love about working with spices, about working with my cuisine, is it always smells so good, even when it's raw. How often can you say that about most cuisines of the world? Okay, oil and pot. Let's get this sucker. Woo, it's hot. It is sizzling. All right, I got this thing up to 350, and it's a little hot at 350. I want to cool it down for a second. Where I really want it to be is about 325 to 350 is where you want the oil to be. Now, you can pan fry this, or you can deep fry this. I already had enough oil, so I put a small pot. I'm not going to fry up a whole bunch of pieces at one time, and and put it in there. But you can also just have a pan with about maybe an inch of oil in the pan, and then pan fry in a shallow pan. Either technique works just fine. So we got this in right now. Let me just turn this heat down a little bit and make sure it doesn't get too hot. What happens when the oil is too hot isn't that the food will cook faster. Rosie, come here, go.
Rosie's having
Rosie,
her
come on,
photobomb moment.
Say hi to everybody. Oh, and there's Teddy too. What are you guys waiting for? I don't
There's
have
Teddy.
anything. They put this fish action happening today.
They smell the fish. They assume this has something to do with them.
I know. Well, Rosie, she knows the none when she sees it. Okay, it's gonna be a little hot because I got it cranked up, but I don't want everybody waiting around. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop my.
What happens if you just turn the flame off?
I did.
Just cool down.
That's what it is. Cooling down for a second here, but it's fine. It's coming down slowly. It's okay. Get one of these things. They're not expensive. $10. This is an ultra big one because it's for a turkey fryer pot. You can get shorter ones that don't stick out quite as much. But having a temperature, hot oil temperature gauge will make sure that you get perfectly fried food every time. Because the oil's not hot enough, it's going to be soggy and just sort of oily. And if the oil's too hot, it's going to burn the shit out of your food. And it'll be burnt on the outside or on the inside. That was my famous college cooking technique. All right, let's drop this guys in. So, drop it in, hold it in the oil for a second, and then drop it away from you. Okay, we can take this bad boy out of the way right now. And you see how it's foaming up like that? It's because the oil was a little bit hot. So I'm only going to put 3 pieces there because I don't want to crowd the pan. And those 3 pieces should be enough to get it going. Make a nice little wrap. And while that's happening, let's make the chutney for the wrap. So I've made this before. I made green chutney before, but I'm going to do it one more time because the last time I was a little frantic. I don't know if you remember. What was it?
Which one was that?
I think it was the kati roll episode. It was the last week.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one. But I just got a little frantic. I didn't quite have my kati game on. So, all right. So about let's give everybody really good measurements. I would say this would be about a loosely packed cup of cilantro. That's what it is, okay? So loosely packed cup of cilantro, and I took the stems off. Now you guys have heard me talk about how much I love cooking with the stems, and I think they add a lot of flavor to food. But when you're making a chutney, you don't want the stems. The stems make it really watery, because the stems have a lot of water in it. And it also, after a few days, sort of that extra wateriness makes the chutney sort of, I don't know, it almost ferments a little, foams a little in the fridge. So we take the stems off. Let's see how our fish is doing in the meantime. Okay. All right. They're doing their thing. Frying away. And in there, I'm going to put, let's put either 2 large cloves of garlic or 3 or 4 small cloves of garlic. Okay? Boom, in. We're going to put a little chili.
That fish already smells amazing.
I know.
Cooking
I'm
with
gonna
your dad is laughing. What are you
either
laughing at? Which is
quarter of
funny.
a really large chili or half of a small chili. All depends on how much heat you want in this chutney, but that goes into.
Joey Beard. Hi, Joey.
Joey!
We
What's
miss
up, big
you.
guy? Good to see you on the show, man. I'm putting a little bit of ginger in. You don't have to, it's optional. I have a little bit of ginger already peeled. It just adds a nice little ginger zing to it. And then, for the liquid part, we're gonna add some salt. Not for the liquid part, but for the seasoning part. Healthy pinch of salt.
Trying to figure out how salt became liquid.
And a half a teaspoon of sugar. Just a little bit of sweetness in the chutney goes a long way.
How long are you cooking the fish for?
Oh, I'm cooking the fish until it's done.
Thanks, that's so clarifying. Cooking with your dad is already laughing at your version of measurements.
Probably about 3 to 4 minutes is what it needs. I mean, until it's done. And here's how to tell it's done. The fish will be flaky and kind of easily break when you fish it out of the oil.
I just have to show everybody how Teddy is helping us film. This is where he takes position when Meherwan's cooking, right underfoot, on your foot, underfoot, anywhere near the foot.
He knows which side of the
Anywhere he can trip you.
which side of the camera is all his butter.
Yeah.
So we put some salt, we put some sugar, we put some garlic, we put chili, we put a little bit of ginger, we got the greens, and now we're gonna put in the rest of that lemon that we cut up, the rest of that juice lemon, I'm gonna put it in there. Let's get the rest of this part, and this other half in there too. And this lime juice is what's gonna give that beautiful acidity that you want in green chutney. Look at that, look at it. That is absolutely fantastic.
That was a half a lime. The other half of the lime.
Yeah, it was the other half of the lime. If you have a large lime, a half a lime should be
Okay, let's see
plenty.
what's happening over here.
Yeah, these guys, you see how they're floating up to the surface? That means they're pretty much almost done. Let me get my handy dandy spider and fish these bad boys out.
They really smell so yummy. I wish you guys could smell this.
Little piece broke off. That just shows you that how flaky and soft and tender it is. And let me put a couple more pieces in there while I'm waiting, right? Now that the oil's cooled down. Boom. Just hold in the oil for a second, drop it away from you. Hold it on for a second and drop it from you. If you have a larger pot with more oil, then of course you can do more pieces than that. That means you do one piece at a time. Alright guys, home stretch. As soon as the fish is done, we're ready to assemble. Let's puree up our chutney.
Okay, while you're gathering that blender, a couple people joined late and just wanted a quick overview of what's in the fish.
So
just
the
real
fish
quick.
is very simple. It's a flaky white fish like tilapia or catfish. I got catfish, even cod will work great. So I got catfish in this particular instance. Sliced into small fish stick sized pieces. And then the marinade was ginger garlic paste, which is as simple as 50% fresh peeled ginger to 50% fresh peeled garlic pureed together in a food processor, right? So I put 2 tablespoons of that, a little bit of oil, half a lime, the juice of half a lime, and then spices. And the spices were chili powder, and of course I love the Kashmiri chili powder, and that's what gives it that beautiful red color. Salt, for, and salt well, because you're going to be frying this, so you don't want the salt to all burn up and not have any salt. Turmeric powder, just a hint, like just about a quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon at most. And then oil, we mentioned, and roasted coriander powder, which you can get at spicewalla.com or anywhere online. And why roast it? It just already has this fragrance and nuttiness from it being roasted that just is marvelous on this fish. That's it, very simple. If you don't have the coriander powder, it's not the end of the world. You'll still get amazing flavor from turmeric and chili powder. All right, this is in there. Oh, it may need a splash of water just to help us all come along. There we go. And we really don't want a kind of a, hopefully, a thick, chunky paste. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Oh, it smells amazing. Let me give it a little mix up. Now, if you have, I don't have any mint. If it was summertime, there's always this mint growing. But this this vibrant green chutney is what we're going for.
Oh, really chunky.
Really chunky.
Okay.
Yeah, we want chunky. I mean, for this particular one, I just want a nice chunky chutney instead of a really thin, runny one. Because it's a wrap and I don't want it to run out the side when I put it on. And I don't want the bread to get soggy. All right, let's see how round two fish is doing. Coming along. Yeah, these things, because the oil's not as hot, it's going to wrap a lot better.
There's
Okay.
Vish. I was wondering where you were. Hi, Vish.
How you doing, bud? And we are done. Now it's time for assembly. Let's do assembly. Make a little wipe down. You know me, how OCD I am about just wiping down all the time. You want clean surface for assembling our beautiful wrap. Alright guys, I'm not going to make naan from scratch, but naan is the preferred vehicle, if you will, the blanket in which we're going to put our fish, crispy fish, and all the yummy herbs and spices that are going inside with it. So we should heat up the naan. You can do it in a pan, you can do it in a toaster oven, or
Our favorite method.
my favorite method, do it on the range.
Pretend you're camping.
Pretend you got an Indian range, and you're just going to char the naan on that a little bit. See how our bad boys are doing over here. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, so as the spices burn off, it's going to ruin your oil. So you're not going to recycle it or use it again. And a great way to get rid of oil once you've fried in it is to essentially fill up a mason jar or a tin with maybe half full with sand, and then just pour the oil once it's cooled off in, and that way the oil sort of soaks up, the sand soaks up the oil, and that way you can dispose of the bottle without having sort of this oil floating around. A friend of mine, somebody I know, basically fills up a jar with sunflower seeds halfway through, and then pours the oil, filters it, and pours the oil in, and essentially turns it into almost like a sunflower oil block for birds to peck at.
Really? Is the oil good for the birds?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a historic moment.
I mean, if you
Your daughter is joining you live on Instagram.
honey, don't.
Hi, honey.
It'll never happen again.
How
Do
fun
not
to see
engage.
you there.
Do not engage. Retract, mother tractor beam. Retract.
Okay, Jess is.
Oh, here we go.
Jess wants to know if you're going to appear in the next Fast and Furious.
Who, me? Oh, because of the ludicrous show. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, right now streaming on Discovery Plus, and there is a 7-day free trial for those of you that are interested, is a new brand new show called Luda Can't Cook. And guess who teaches? Guess who can cook? And guess who teaches Luda how to cook Indian food? Me. So the first episode is Luda trying to cook some of the great cuisines of the world, and he picks Indian food. And we have an amazing time in Atlanta, his hometown, teaching Luda how to cook.
Yes, Vish, we needed. You should have been on that cast too.
I
That
know.
would have been fun. The two uncles schooling Luda on how to cook. That would have been hysterical.
All right, let assembly begin. We are done. This dish was so simple. Here's our crispy fish. Let's get this knife out of the way.
Arya, this is for you when you come home. It's waiting for you.
We got a nice fluffy naan that's a little bit charred from just doing it on the, so soft and fluffy, and it gets really nice and pliable. And let's layer it up.
Vish,
So-
what makes you so cool is that you think you're not cool. Vish says he's not cool enough for Luda, but
Oh,
that's
no,
totally not
it's plenty
true.
Cool for Luda. Plenty cool for Luda. All right, let's get a little bit of onion to go with this bad boy here also. That should be plenty. Maybe one more. There we go. Got some onion.
What is this bottle you just blocked our view with?
This is Maggi ketchup. So what goes better with crispy fish sticks than ketchup, right? And what is the best ketchup in the world? Maggi, hot and sweet, hot and sweet. Well, they can't call it ketchup, so they call it tomato chili sauce. Now, if you can find this on Amazon, you can find this in almost any Indian grocery store. You can find it at Patel brother. If you haven't tried this yet, go run out there, buy a bottle, buy the biggest one you can. Look how big
Look,
this
I know,
one
this
is.
is so big. It's blocking the whole view. Maggi,
Right.
hot and sweet.
And sweet, and it's addictive. It's sriracha meets ketchup with just that sweet chili sauce, that sweet chili glaze that you also get from my
so
boy,
fun.
all mixed together. That's what it
Yum.
tastes like. It's yum. If you don't have it, no stress. Regular ketchup does fine. What I like to do with regular ketchup, to give it a little zing, little masala, is if you have sriracha, mix sriracha and regular ketchup together maybe 25% sriracha, 70% regular ketchup. Add a hint of sugar, mix it up well, and you get close to approximating this. Not there, but close. So, we're gonna hit our naan with some of the Maggi. Oh, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. So of course the chai pani, you know, we go through squeeze bottles of the stuff. There we go. So good.
This is the same brand you use at Chai Pani, right?
Oh, yeah,
the ketchup.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
one
it's-
thing not made in house is that Maggi ketchup.
Right, let's get our onions in.
Okay, what's pacha? Sorry. Pacha ni machi.
Patrani machi.
What does that mean?
I think so, that somebody must be saying.
Yeah.
It's fish wrapped up in machli means.
Vish is telling you to make that next time.
Oh, next time, absolutely. Let's get a little crispy fish in there. Oh my God, so exciting.
Rosie's saying hi, everybody. She didn't get enough attention last time. There she is.
And there she is. Let's see. Let's get the chutney we just made. Oh, Jesus. That extra ginger in there was genius. Rosie, come on, girl. Let's get that dolloped on top. And this is, you see why I want it chunky? So that wouldn't be just running all over the fish.
See, now you guys know why this is one of my favorite dishes at Chai Pani. It's so good.
All right? And
Favorite lunch.
And a little bit of fresh cilantro. Let's chop it up. Come on, my girl. Let's not. Rosie's showing off for the camera here.
Total showing off.
Totally showing off. There we go. Just a little bit of fresh cilantro. Now, there's plenty of cilantro in the chutney, but I just like that little extra bite of cilantro in there. And essentially, yeah, it's going to be a floppy wrap, but just put it in, tuck it in tight. This is actually a smaller naan than what we get at Chai Pani. And there you have it, guys. Now, if you had a little bit of foil to wrap on the bottom or wax paper, I'd wrap that up like a gyro, and you've got yourself the crispy masala fish roll.
Okay, friend who's asking about the knife set, you have to go back to, I think it was either the last video or the one before that. Someone asked the knife question, and Meherwan gave a full lecture about all of his favorite knives and why.
Yeah, oh, it was the kati roll episode.
Kati roll episode.
Kati
Yeah,
roll episode.
Or the one before that, if that wasn't right.
Right, and if you don't have wax
Then
paper,
you can
but
go.
you want to keep this bad boy together temporarily, a little toothpick works just great. There it is, guys. Chai Pani's
Yummy.
famous crispy
So good.
fish roll. Should we take a bite?
Yes.
Yes. Somebody's gonna be mad at me because I'm not taking a picture for the camera, but hey, what the heck?
Take a
And
picture with the bite
se-
taken out.
The secret trick here is the Maggi ketchup. Now you can also put tamarind chutney in this, along with the green chutney.
Doesn't
And
the
that's
Chai Pani
perfectly-
one have tamarind?
No, we subbed the tamarind for the Maggi because the Maggi just adds that extra little je ne sais quoi. Or as we say in India, jugaad. Thank you, God.
Look, this is what
For the
Rosie
gift of
thinks
great
about
food.
it. She's like, where's my fish wrap? Okay, he's having a moment. Enough eating it. People didn't come here to see you eat it. They came here to see you cook the food.
Oh my God, so good. Actually, it's perfect. Like, the fish is crispy and crunchy because the ginger garlic paste sort of got crunchy on the outside. I used catfish this time. You know, we use tilapia quite often too because both fish sort of hold up. The tilapia actually holds up even better to the frying and stays a little bit firmer. Catfish tends to get flaky and falls apart. So depending on whether you like your fish sort of more crispy and crunchy or whether you like it soft and flaky, pick your fish. That Maggi ketchup though, that's the deal. If you can't get Maggi ketchup, do a mixture like I said. Try to get a little chili powder, a little sugar, a little sriracha into regular ketchup and just sweeten it up and make it a little bit spicier. But that green chutney is so herbaceous, so delicious, adds all the zing. This is a perfect wrap. I mean, that's why it's the number one, I think, wrap at Chai Pani. Well, thanks for joining everybody. Hope you enjoy this demo. I've been doing a lot of sort of like wraps and quick street food, trying to keep these things to 30 minutes or less. But if you have any special requests, Patran machli, any Parsi food, anything, I think next week we should dig into and do something a little bit more complex, like, you know, just a bigger.
I think it was
maybe a
Jess.
biryani.
Somebody was asking about a Kerala fish fry.
Kerala fish fry. Yeah, well, okay, this is kind of similar to that, but that's more of a. Let me look it up. There's different versions in my head of what a Kerala fish fry looks like, but we could do something like that. Okay, we'll do something a little bit more complex next time. But
Oh boy.
oh boy, you guys are ready.
They're ready.
Well, thanks for joining. Been another wonderful evening. We're gonna go outside, sit on the deck, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. You guys do the same. Have a wonderful weekend. Love you all. See you next week.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.
One more bite. Just one.